Hermie tells this story as a man looking back, which means he has been carrying it for a long time. It is 1942. He is spending the summer on a New England island with his two friends, Ossie and Benji. They are 15, which means they are old enough to think about love and young enough to understand nothing about it. They spend their days on the beach watching couples, arguing about the correct approach to girls. Hermie favors the polite introduction. Ossie finds this hopelessly old-fashioned, and reading a paperback guide to romance that Ossie has produced from somewhere, poring over it with the urgent attention of people studying a subject they expect to be tested on very soon. Then Hermie sees her. She is a soldier's wife. She and her husband have a small house by the sea, recently married, gathering firewood together when the three boys first notice them from the beach. The soldier lifts her and carries her inside, and Hermie's friends are impressed by her beauty and then move on, and Hermie does not. He stays a little longer just to catch another glimpse of her. He goes back to the beach eventually, but she does not leave his mind, which is the specific property of certain sites at 15. They install themselves and stay. Her name is Dorothy. He watches her say goodbye to her husband at the dock. The soldier boards a ship for duty, and Dorothy waves until the boat is gone, and Hermie watches her wave and the longing she carries in that moment. The specific sadness of a woman whose husband is heading toward a war makes her even more present in his mind. He thinks, this is the perfect moment to meet her. He is 15, and he means this with complete sincerity. The next day, she is at the beach, and his friends dare him to go speak to her. He walks toward where she is lying in the sun and almost gets there before Ossie and Benji begin shouting from the shoreline to embarrass him. He loses his nerve and runs. Dorothy notices him running. He is furious at his friends. The scuffle that follows leaves his nose bleeding. He walks away from them feeling, as 15-year-olds often feel, that he is entirely surrounded by people who do not understand the gravity of the situation. The marketplace saves him. He sees her the next day struggling with groceries, which is the kind of coincidence that does not feel like coincidence when you have been hoping for it. He approaches, politely, and offers to help. She agrees. He carries everything. His friends spot them together and call out to him, and he ignores them completely for the first time, which tells us how seriously he is taking this. He walks with her to her house, and she notices he already knows where she lives, which he cannot explain cleanly, and she does not press him on it. She offers to pay him. He refuses. She offers coffee instead. He accepts and sits watching her move around her kitchen with the attentive silence of someone who wants to memorize everything. He lies to impress her, tells her he is planning to join the army, that his selection is coming up soon. She encourages him warmly. He burns his mouth on the coffee, and she laughs. He tells her his friends are lazy and useless, which makes her smile. He tells her he plays harmonica and sings well in competitions. She listens. Before he leaves, she gives him a few things to take with him, and he tells her, with the confidence of someone who has just succeeded at something he thought impossible, that he will be seeing her again soon. Walking home, he passes Ossie and Benji, who have been waiting and watching. He tells them he was having a drink with her. He delivers this with the studied nonchalance of someone who has been rehearsing it in his head the whole walk back. They laugh and go home together, and the laughter is good and warm, and the whole summer feels like it might hold something extraordinary. He runs into Dorothy at the theater. She greets him warmly and mentions she could use his help moving some things at her house. When she leaves, his friends say what his friends would say, that she seems to be falling for him. He snaps back at them because that is what he does when something matters and people are laughing at it. Later, at the movies with their respective dates, Hermie is surprised to find that his date genuinely enjoys his company, which is more than can be said for Ossie's situation. It is a good night for Hermie, complicated by the fact that the person he keeps thinking about is not seated beside him. He goes to Dorothy's house the next morning as she asked. He helps her move boxes. He looks at her with eyes he cannot fully control. She notices, and she smiles back, and he takes this as the opening it might be and confesses that he has feelings for her. Dorothy responds by kissing him on the forehead. It is a gentle, maternal gesture that is also unmistakably warm, and the lipstick mark she leaves on his skin is something his friends will demand an explanation for when he returns. He gives them nothing. He holds the moment privately, which is new for him. Usually he tells them everything. The summer continues the way summers do when you are 15, and everything feels temporary and significant at the same time. There is a night on the beach with the theater girls that involves a trip to the pharmacy and Hermes' spectacular inability to ask for what he needs without losing his nerve entirely, cycling through requests for ice cream and napkins before the patient shopkeeper hands him what he actually came for. The night on the beach does not go as planned. It rarely does at 15. One morning, he finds Dorothy on the beach writing a letter and creates an excuse to be near her. He asks if she will walk with him on the beach that evening. She thinks for a moment and says yes. He goes home and spends the entire day in the particular agony of anticipation, counting hours, choosing his clothes with care, telling himself to behave normally, and then not behaving normally at all. He runs into Aussie on the way to her house and does not hear a word Aussie says because his mind is already at the door. He arrives and the door is open and the house is wrong. The light is wrong. The music is wrong. The quality of the air inside is wrong in the way that spaces are wrong when something has already happened in them before you entered. On the table, there is a telegram. Her husband's plane has been shot down over France. The soldier is dead. Dorothy is sitting in the grief of it not performing it. Simply in it. The specific stillness of someone whose life has just been rearranged by a piece of paper. Hermes says he is sorry. He sits beside her and puts his arms around her, and she lets him, and the two of them hold each other in the silence of the house with the sound of the ocean outside. He is 15 and she is a woman who has just lost her husband, and for a long time, they are simply two people who need to not be alone. Then, slowly, she moves away from the stillness of her grief, and he leads her to the bedroom, and the ocean continues outside, and they spend the night towed. Afterwards, she gets up quietly and walks away. He watches her go. He understands, in the way that some things are understood before they can be fully articulated, that he has been given something and also that he cannot keep it, that he is not the person who was supposed to occupy that space, and that what she gave him was real and also not entirely for him. She wishes him good night. He leaves with her inside his chest, which is where she will remain. The next morning, her house is empty. She has left a letter on the table. She writes that she is going back home, that she has to return to her life, that she will never forget him. She asks him always to keep her in his heart. She says she wishes only for his happiness. It is a gentle letter and a complete one. It does not invite a reply because there is nothing he could say that would change what is written in it. Hermes stands in the empty house for a while. He looks at the rooms that held a summer he did not expect. Then he turns and walks away down the beach, and the story that has been told in retrospect by the man he became returns to silence, which is the sound of something that happened a long time ago and has never quite finished happening. He was 15 and he loved her. She was a soldier's wife who had just become a widow, and she gave him one night, and then she was gone. He carried her in his heart, as she asked. Some things you are asked to carry, and you simply do. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like and subscribe to Scene Scout for more.